Hello and welcome to another episode of our Women in STEM series. My name is Kaylee Peile and I'm the Director of Development for the Linda Hall Library. Today our guests are Angela Kennedy, representing Keystone Innovation District, and Beth Noser from KC Women in Tech. Ladies, welcome and thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So I'd like to start the conversation with you, Angela. Tell me a little bit about Keystone. What is the mission and the goal, and what are you driving as far as impact goes in our community?
Absolutely. So the innovation, or Keystone Innovation District specifically, this was an idea that originated way back in like 2015. So whenever KC Rising came onto the scene after a Brookings Institute research setting in 2014, we were faced as a community with the option of, how do we make sure that Kansas City is mobilizing all of the appropriate avenues so that it can excel from an economic development standpoint? And one big dot goal that was identified was the innovation and entrepreneurship lane of that. So Keystone was really born out of that need. This is the placemaking portion of that within our Kansas City region. And that kind of came about in a lot of different ways, right? That was back in 2015. So a little bit of a pause while they waited for leadership on who was going to be able to do that type of work for our community. In 2018, that was whenever the Civic Council really funded some research that went into what would an innovation district look like. And from that perspective, we did a lot of different research. There were like 20 different markets that were evaluated and used as test ideas, make sure we have all the best practices, we're learning from others' mistakes. And with all of that knowledge kind of armed in that space, that's how Keystone came about as a fully burgeoning concept. And its purpose is to gather together from community, education, and corporation the idea of innovation, so entrepreneurship, and have a hub where all of the resources that help those types of initiatives to thrive can be easily accessed and really a place for others in our community to thrive. So right now, where Keystone stands after all of that, in 2022, it opened its first location, which is the Keystone CoLab. And the CoLab is a campfire kind of setting. That's the big tech industry word, jargon that I'm not super familiar with.
Sure.
But it's a campfire. And that basically is just saying, like, this is the spark. This is where we're starting. This is where we're beginning. And we will have a much larger footprint that's going to be representing all kinds of different entrepreneurial and innovation opportunities. Within the CoLab, there are co-residents like KC Women in Tech, KC WIT, as well as Black Excellence Incorporated, the Social Venture Studios office out of there, and many others that allow us to bring together just a great community of entrepreneurs. The purpose being for them to have more access, for us to bring more people together into that space, and for us to host programming that kind of elevates that type of entrepreneurship around the region. So it's just in this kind of really beautiful stage where it was an idea. We now have actual physical location that brings people together, and the idea of Keystone Innovation District is really just taking an idea and bringing it to life.
Yeah, well, that was an amazing overview. So thank you. That was very, very well done. And I think it's exciting to hear that there's been so much momentum and progress for Keystone over the course of a few years.
Yeah.
I think that also, it aligns with the kind of growth and momentum we're seeing across the region, which is really exciting too. But I know that KC Women in Tech has been here for a little bit longer. So give me a little backstory, Beth, if you could. Tell me about the organization and how does it feed into and partner with Keystone?
Yeah, certainly. So Kansas City Women in Tech has been around for 11 years. It started by Jennifer Wadella, who felt like she was the only woman software developer on her teams. And she's like, surely there's got to be other female entrepreneurs or engineers or even entrepreneurs like in the tech scene. And we need a place to gather together to build each other up, provide that community, but also like bring other women into the community and upskill them. So she started KC WIT, and we had programs that were there for women to learn how to code, to commiserate on different things within the tech industry that are happening, and offer mentorship as well. So it's been really great that we have these learn to code programs for women to be able to enter the tech scene, and then after they learn those skills, still be a part of our community so that we can lean on each other and just stay in the tech industry together. So Keystone had offered a space for us to run some of our programs. And after learning about what Keystone was doing, I was like, I have to be here more than just like once a month running our programs. I want to be fully integrated in this system because Casey Witt can offer so many things for entrepreneurs and innovation in Kansas City. And one thing that we're doing as a part of that is offering services. So if there's an entrepreneur in Kansas City that's like, I have this great idea, but I don't know anything about tech. Well, we could offer web dev solutions for them or like a mobile app solution for them and build that for them so that their ideas really do get to come to life for them.
I love that. And I think it really does speak to a lot of the things that Library is doing too. So we have a Kansas City Invention Convention and it's STEMmy. It adds in the innovation and entrepreneurship. So a lot of the things that you guys are saying, I can in my mind, I see how it aligns with some of the things we're doing for the next generation of innovators and entrepreneurs in our community. But tell me, you both have talked about the program, the conversation. What is the conversation right now when it comes to kind of this campfire model? You mentioned commiserating. What are some of the things that women from your organization, but also the landscape across Keystone, what are the things that you guys are talking about, and what are some of the needs that our community they're seeing right now?
I think that one thing that Keystone does through a lot of its different programs, it just offer that integration through all of the different verticals and industries that innovation offers. So for instance, there is WAWO Wednesdays. WAWO stands for What Are You Working On? And it's a great way for that organization that is also a partner resident at Keystone to be able to have those campfire conversations, to offer marketing ideas or solutioning different problems for them. And then another resident at Keystone is Embrace Your Shine. And Rosanna wants to build a community of co-resident or housing similar to the Veterans Project, like mini houses for entrepreneurs so that they have a place to live at low cost or for free so that they can get their businesses off the ground. So those conversations that we have are very integrated together. Like, what problems do we have and how can we help each other solve them? So it's a really great way to have your community that is related to experts in different industries and not relying on your family and friends to help support you, because while they're passionate about you and support your dreams, they don't always offer the muscle or the expertise that Keystone Innovation District offers.
That makes sense, yeah. Do you have anything to add?
I think that's beautifully said, and I would just add that I would highly encourage anybody in the entrepreneurial space, or even just somebody who's interested in learning more about what this ecosystem looks and feels like, go. You can just go to Keystone Innovation District. You can show up at the CoLab pretty much anytime, most days, but every Wednesday they have Keystone Sessions. And the title for this, the sessions, is actually kind of based off of and a play on Jam Sessions, which would have happened at 18th and Vine, still happen at 18th and Vine District, so kind of playing all together. But these are weekly events that have up to 4 different presenters, and it's just the community existing together, learning together, having access to what others are experiencing. It's that knowledge share opportunity. And I popped in there really randomly a couple of weeks ago, and I just sat down at a desk and did my own kind of co-working session in the space. I had the best conversations. I connected with different residents that I hadn't met yet, and was able to help bridge connections and gain some of my own. So if you're really interested and you want to be a part of it, do it. The access is right there.
That makes sense. So, and I think it sounds like you guys you're in the community building, like awareness, spreading, education phase. But what is the next phase? What would you guys like to see happen in the next couple of years for Keystone, holistically, but also, for a specific organization such as Women in Tech?
For Kansas City Women in Tech, I would love to be able to offer a space for those who just learned how to code or learned whatever skills they needed to get into the tech industry, and be able to offer those services to those who come into the innovation district. So if you need a project manager that's more tech savvy or a web developer, that we are offering those services for those that come through Keystone's doors. And then too, Keystone is looking at what is phase 2 for the innovation district. How will we grow? We are renting the space currently. So what does it look look like for Keystone to grow in the community and have our own building and then offer more co-residencies for businesses to just come together and lean on each other.
Yeah, the eye is on more space. As like, again, this is our starter space, is the campfire spot, and there's very much a desire to and a plan to continue that growth with intentionality. So I'd say there's also, KC Women in Tech, I mentioned Black Excellence Incorporated. A big component within Keystone and its desire to grow is it wants to make sure that it is providing real equitable access and promoting entrepreneurs and minority groups like all together so that we are in the business of creating generational wealth. So that's why tech is so important, such a highlighted piece of this. This is why there's been intentionality in the co-residents that exist in the space already, just to elevate and make this really intentional in where the locations are and who are the people that we are supporting, so that there can be larger growth and expansion of BIPOC community and women-owned business. So they're really healthy, and it's not just about making a living wage, it's about making a thriving wage.
Right,
Yeah.
and our community should be thriving. I think that intentional empowerment is super important. In collaboration, we're trying to do that better as a library. How do we become a better partner, a neighbor, a collaborator, so that we can push some of these things up to the top and elevate those experiences and opportunities across the board? But what do you, so from my personal, I'm a community advocate. I'm also here for the library. What can organizations like us or others or stakeholders, what should we be doing better to help you guys move along your mission?
Do you want to go first?
My first one is obvious, like funding. That is huge for us to be able to have the resources that we need, and awareness. I think that's a big one. To raise awareness of our organizations and to let people know that we, a lot of our programs are free. Like a lot of KC WIT's programs are free because we don't want to have barriers to access. So if you are a woman or a minority, no matter who you are, we can offer those programs and services to you to learn how to code or learn other tech skills and collaborate with other tech organizations in town. So there's like Women in Security or the AI Club, like JavaScript and Coffee and Code. There's so many different like tech meetups in the city, but for us to be able to come together and collaborate instead of compete is really important to us. Like collaboration over competition is my motto, and I really feel like that Keystone shows that too, that it's just a community for us to collaborate with each other and learn from each other. And as organizations come in and support each of these different sectors within Keystone, I think that shows that will raise the awareness and like show that we do need more funding because there's so much going on.
I was recently a part of an allyship workshop through the Greater KC Chamber, and the key takeaway from that day was checks and contracts. Like that's what, from an entrepreneurial perspective, like that's what people need, are checks and contracts, and how do you finish that line? But from a corporate standpoint, how can you contribute and be a part of the growth of Keystone and the growth of our economy, right? By being a part of this ecosystem. It's showing up. It's attending those types of events, and we will very much in the near future be able to share some volunteer opportunities. So Keystone's working on creating a very streamlined process that will allow for ease and access for companies that want to contribute their time. If you have corporate volunteer hours that need to be taken, you can donate your time to Keystone by attending the sessions and being the host for, opening and closing the night, and handling registration, those kind of basic pieces, but of course some larger components. Right now, as it stands, Keystone Innovation District is literally a one-man show. There's one person that is really leading from that perspective, and anything that the volunteer community can do from a board level or from a corporate space is massively helpful and will further influence the success of KC WIT and all the co-residents within the space.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm hoping, I think that we can all band together and support you, and I'm really excited to see the growth that we can all achieve together. That makes me really happy. Are there anything from a programmatic standpoint or an event standpoint coming down the pipe this spring or summer that you guys would like to discuss?
Keystone, like Angela said, has our Wednesday night sessions every Wednesday. KC WIT has the third Wednesday of every month, so every third Wednesday night from 5 to 6 p.m., Casey Witt has some sort of speaker or panelist situation, and then after our session is Innovate Her and then Rebuild Honestly. So it's great that we have that like third Wednesday every set for us. We will also be partnering with the AI Club and Women in Sec to have something May 20th at Keystone to offer some sort of programming around AI, security,
Great.
and tech. So that one's really exciting coming up. And then we hope to have through Casey Witt a place for folks to learn UX, UI, mobile app development, as long as we have programs that cater to our audiences that want to learn those tech skills, we will keep offering them. We have our coding and cocktails sessions for women over the age of 21 to learn how to code every second Saturday of the month. And then we have our tech talks that are once a month throughout the city. Dimensional Innovations, H&R Block, VML, a lot of corporations here in town sponsor those events, and we even hold them at their places of business so that people can see what it's really like to be there in those offices as well. So it's really exciting for the whole metro to get involved with those sessions.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, great plug for Keystone Sessions. That probably was where I was going to head. One other space in Keystone, the Social Venture Studios. They just closed applications, I believe, for their next round. And Social Venture Studios is all about, it's a tech incubator style that is specific for social entrepreneurship, which social entrepreneurship I looked up because I'm like, that seems super big. But that's essentially saying, like these are companies that are dedicated towards social causes. Like these are companies that are really dedicated to making a change and being that impact and community maker within a space. So I love that runs out of Keystone as well, just all of the resources that go into something like that. But applications closing soon, and then they'll be kind of announcing that next wave of entrepreneurs to go through the program. I have some friends that went through it last year, and I know found it to be extremely beneficial and really set their company up to thrive. And pun is intended there.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay. A lot of things to look forward to. I'm hoping the library, we're going to have a lot of AI and tech-centric programming happening in the next couple of years too. So hopefully we can support one another. But I appreciate your guys' time so much. Thank you.
Thank you.